Let's roll. Presented by Town Fair Tire. Claudia Bellofatto, Tom Giles. Let's see what we think about this situation. I do think they figured something out in this postseason. What didn't make sense to me was the Timberwolves jacking up 53s when the name of their game is attacking the rim, defending the paint, which they are the best in the NBA. If that's the case, then I'd rather face the Timberwolves because I think the Celtics can take advantage of that. They're top 10 right now in ERA. Their FIP's even better. The advanced stats show, too, that negative regression isn't necessarily coming. It's just that they have to stay healthy, but you sort of need a fifth guy in that rotation. I'm confused why they're not at all in the conversation with Russ Wilson, though. If we're talking money, if they're afraid to spend, you're basically paying for a punter money-wise, like $1.2 million. And I get it, he's not the franchise guy. He didn't look good in Denver. But that's not even in a conversation. I can't imagine how frustrating that would be for Swayman.
Doesn't, yeah.
It was 7 straight playoff games before these last 2. He didn't allow more than 2 goals. I want to look at the time of possession for these 2 teams because it felt like Florida had the puck the majority of the game, and they were just able to set up. Okay, so he feels strongly about this. I'm curious which way you go. I'm not super shocked that he's taking the third-team reps because he is a rookie. You don't want to throw him out into a situation where he doesn't have a ton around him. I always make the argument, though, same situation he had at UNC, and he was fine. But you brought in Brissett for a reason. You kept Bailey Zappi. I'm cool with it. I still don't know really what to expect from him. We know that he's good with his legs. We know he can throw downfield, and he has some sort of weapons that Mac Jones didn't have. Which side of this are you on? Yeah. I get the argument for it because there's a lot more needs than just the quarterback position. But as a fan of the game and wanting to see this rebuild actually start this season, I would love for them to go out and get the talent, which they desperately need. And I know they're saying they want Daniels, and they would have traded back anyways if they didn't get Daniels. But Drake May is a great guy. J.J. McCarthy, who you mentioned. There's so much deep talent, receiver-wise, O-line-wise, in this class altogether, but they desperately need that quarterback. And I think going back to the personality of Jason Tatum, he doesn't care. He just wants to win. And I think that plays into how the team comes together as well. I do want to talk about this market in general when it comes to betting, because this was a shift, but it was a very big shift. Overnight, he went from plus 500 to a minus favorite, minus 110. If you're not familiar with betting, that is a big swing for just one game. So a market like this, a futures bet, you do want to get ahead of the market. Now you're chasing the number if you want to bet Brown. But if you want to bet Tatum and you think he bounces back, which I want to get to, now's the time to get him at that plus money, to which I will ask you, because we know this is sort of the up and down of Tatum. I keep hearing everyone say he's off. He's been off. I don't know if he's been off. He's had a few off games. So do you expect him to bounce back big in this game? There's just no sense of urgency. You said it came in the third when they needed it, but 25-10 shot attempts in the first, 16-32 shots overall in the end. That's not going to work, and that's nothing new, DJ. We've been seeing that throughout this series. Panthers 33 shots in the first 2 games. As good as Swayman is, if he's not getting the help with defense and they're not producing on the offensive side, you're not going to win the series. Is this disappointing? Is this expected? Of course, you look at this roster and say you have 2 of the top goalies in the league. You would think you could get a great trade for this, but you can't. I don't know if we see this with any other player like Jason Tatum, though, to the flack that he gets. He dropped 36, 12, and 4 in game 1. He has a bad game 2, and everyone's like, oh, well, this is a major problem. What, is he supposed to do that every night? And that's what he even said about the team. You expect us to go out there and win every single game by 20? Well, of course you would keep the tandem. You have 2 of the top goalies in the NHL, but that's called an embarrassment of riches, which means you can trade one out to get some more pieces, which they clearly needed in this postseason. So how do they do that?
Yeah, so